We are a FanDuel podcast, but another sportsbook, which I will not name, but its initials are similar to Donkey Kong's, released their win total over-unders for the upcoming NFL season. And the AFC North had quite a few peculiar, I said that right?
Yeah.
Interesting, whatever the word is, win total projections. We'll start with the Cleveland Browns on this one, guys. Before we look at the rest of the AFC, before we look at the rest of the division, and before we look at the highest win totals projected in the NFL, let's start with the Browns. Their over-under for 2024, coming off a season in which they won 11 games, is just 8.5. What say you, Tyvis?
I'm bewildered by that because I think that you like that word?
What's good?
You like that?
Nice SAT word. Nice.
I said I was going to implement new vocabulary in my.
Well, you know you got to say it 2 more times before you can master it.
Shut up.
You gotta say
Anyway,
it 3 times in a day.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I know that the Browns' schedule next year, they're playing some really tough teams, but you know when you think about all the guys that they're getting that's coming back, and you think about the momentum that they had last year, to me it makes it think that. They said it was fool's gold last year, and I don't think that's the case. I think that, like I said, I keep continuously say that it's a culture change that happened last year, and I think that they got the recipe. You know, when I was there on Monday and I was talking to Rodney McLeod, he had me fired up in the radio room because we was doing an interview with him. He was even saying, like, first of all, this is his last year. This is his last go year, and he said that they going for it all this year. Mm-hmm. You know, anything less than the Super Bowl is a failure to them. So. I think that they'll eclipse the 8.5. I think they'll win more than 9 games. That's ridiculous. The worst team in the division had 9 games last year. I think that everybody coming back healthy, you know, if Jerry Jeudy does what he's supposed to do and Ken Dorsey does have this offense, or Kevin Stefanski, whoever's calling the plays, has this offense going, I think this defense is always going to be good enough to help them win at least 9 games. So I would smash the over on that one.
G. Bush.
This is is obviously the Deshaun Watson pendulum. Mm-hmm. We all know what it is. We've been privy to national, pundits and national outlets that if Deshaun Watson is starting, they're not going to put him over 6 wins. We've heard it time and time again. Don't know what you're going to get from him. Think he's going to be below average. I don't know what he's going to do. 6 wins for the Browns. I don't even want to cover the Browns. It's laughable. It's nonsensical. We had backup quarterbacks, P.J. Walker, DTR, rookies that never played. Joe Flacco came, We made the playoffs last year. Matter of fact, we had the second best record in the division. As a matter of fact, when you look at our record going into the playoffs, it was better than some of the people who had home round playoff games. At the end of the day, the Browns, if you look at free agency, brought everybody back, right? They even improved their wide receiver core, which was a weakness of theirs. They bolster the running back room. They go back and get guys. They get better in the return game. They sign all of their secondary back, right? I don't understand how you come in and say 8.5 wins. That's just the thing. That's the one of those things where the Browns aren't going to get the benefit of the doubt until Deshaun Watson comes back and has a year. And then people will be all on our jock and be like, oh, my gosh, well, you know the reason why. Deshaun was much better last year, so the Browns are cool now. It's okay to say you guys are good. But until we do that, they're going to give us that.
Gee, you stole my whole point there.
Dang.
The Browns won 11 games last season with Deshaun, DTR, P.J. Walker, and Joe Flacco.
His name is Philip.
Philip Walker,
Thank
excuse
you.
me. They bring back almost the entire defense. They swap out Taki for Jordan Hicks. If nothing, it's a minor upgrade, but it's essentially the same.
Right.
Offensively, they added Jerry Jeudy, an upgrade at wide receiver 2. They're supposed to have Nick Chubb back, a massive upgrade in the running back room. Their offensive line is still intact. DeJuan Jones comes back. That should be an upgrade. Sure, the schedule is a little harder. That probably plays a little bit of a factor in this, but the reality of the situation is this is all Vegas's take on Deshaun Watson. And Vegas is telling you they don't believe in Deshaun Watson as a legitimate top-tier quarterback in the NFL right now. But here's the good news, Browns fans. Vegas is often wrong. They're right on some things, but every time we show you a winning ticket, every time G. Bush talks about winning his hockey bets, every time Tyvis is one leg away from winning a parlay, well, actually Tyvis doesn't win parlays, so take him out of the equation. Every time Earl hits a parlay, that means you have beat Vegas. And if you have You have an opportunity here, and I'm serious, because I'm with Tyvis and G on this. I think Vegas is way off on this one. If they could win 11 games last season with Deshaun playing 5 or 6 games, depending on what you want to count the Indianapolis game, and they can win games with DTR and PJ Walker, and the rest of the brain trust is back, the offense is better. If the defense, if nothing else, is exactly the same as what it was last season, I assume they'll take a step up. You have a chance to bet responsibly, and there's a key word there, responsibly, to make some money on this. I think at worst, the Browns are a 500 team. At absolute worst. That is the worst case scenario.
It can't be 500.
Well, that's 8 and 9, 9 and 8, which gives you to the bottom line of what they can get to. That is if everything goes wrong, G. Bush, they're still an 8-win team.
Never listen to somebody who is emotional to a point where they say, I don't like this person, so therefore I'm going to predict that they're going to play bad. I'll give you a great case. Ben Roethlisberger was accused of a lot of the different stuff that Deshaun Watson was. But every year, as a Browns fan, you knew Ben Roethlisberger was going to throw for 4,500 yards. You knew what he was going to do, and you know the Steelers were formidable. Nobody was saying, oh, my gosh, he did this off the field. I'm going to pick the Steelers to win 6 games. That's asinine. That's stupid. There's a lot of people that get emotionally caught up in stuff, and for you to get emotionally caught up and say 8.5 wins, that's crazy. Like, they won 8.5 wins with tackles off the street. They won 11 games with tackles off the street.
We talk about all the quarterbacks. They led the NFL in turnovers last season, which somehow we keep forgetting that when we talk about the Browns last year. It's not just the carousel at quarterback. It was the inconsistent play at quarterback. They led the NFL in turnovers. The last time a team, I forget the exact year, but it was in the 80s, was the last time a team led the NFL in turnovers and still made the playoffs. Just based off turnover luck alone, G. Just based off that alone, take everything else out of the equation, the Browns should have like 15 more possessions than they had last season. And with Deshaun back and Nick Chubb back and Jerry Jeudy in the fold, there's no reason to think this offense won't be better than it was in 2023.
One receiver to speak about. David Njoku was the second guy. Both the tackles, oh my God, Minimowski. And you had a rookie running back. Like, I mean, I don't understand, like, why people think, like, you know, like, all of a sudden they're not going to be better with all those injuries and assuming that they get guys back healthy. But it's all good, though, man.
Well, you know why. It's for some odd reason, it's something. D'Anthony Bell sat here and said it. For some odd reason, people do not like the Browns, and I don't know what that's about either. I guess it's you get so used to so many years them not being good that they finally putting it together, and you like can't accept the fact that
you have to see it for a prolonged time before you fully believe the turnaround is real.
Well, I keep going back to it. There's a lot of people that just don't like Deshaun Watson, man.
I think that's more of
that too.
And we got to remember, this is a Vegas line.
Yeah.
This is Vegas sets the line to where they think they'll get equal action on the over and the under. So people who like Deshaun look at this line and go,
there's no way people taking the under on that.
If you don't like Deshaun,
I don't care if you hate him. You're not taking the under on that. Not after the season that they just had. There's no way.
9% of our chat right now will disagree with you.
They taking the under?
There's 9% of them. 91% are taking the over.
Yeah. So Vegas sets these lines to try and get.
I want to know.
And now they'll
if
adjust
you smash under. First, you might have hit it by mistake. You just wanted to see. You just wanted to be, see what the ratings was because you can't see it unless you vote on it. So you hit the under just to be that guy. But if you actually truly feel that, I might get in the chat just to see what you said is the reason why you took the under. That doesn't make sense.
That's very easy.
But you know the reason why.
No,
I
don't care. I don't care about that.
You don't care about that.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, you
like
don't
logically thinking that doesn't even make sense.
I hate to go back to it.
Doesn't even make sense.
There was a tweet.
Like, what was his record again? Even as bad as he played, he was
4-1 as a starter.
4-1.
I put it out. McNuggets
You
put
gotta
the
be
tweet out.
kidding me.
I put the tweet out. I said, listen, let me know.
There's no way.
All the people who ain't in the camp of Deshaun Watson, let me know why. And, it got a whole bunch of comments, and a whole lot of people was like...
We did a whole segment on it.
A whole segment. Yeah. A bunch of people just like, nah, I ain't doing it. I ain't never going...
Even if you don't agree, he was 4-1 last year. As bad as he played, he was 4-1.
That doesn't matter. Win, loss...
What do you mean it doesn't matter? It's like he was about to be better than 8 games right there.
Win and loss, win-loss totals is like...
You're fooling yourself.
Win-loss totals...
Just let it go.
Win
Let it
loss
go.
total is like the economy during politicians during.
Gee, you need to move. They need to move on.
When you start polling people and people use the economy, if they like you, they could disregard it.
Yeah.
I don't worry about it. It was a lot of fluctuation. He's doing the best he can.
They need to move on.
If they don't like you, you're the president. Why is my gas $3.96? Why is milk $4?
Ty,
You know why.
Ty, here are the reasons.
Move on.
I don't believe this. I'm just going to give you the reasons as to why someone would vote for that 9% on the under, Ty. A, you don't believe in Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. And B, you think some of the games he played last season, whether it be against Arizona, where I think G. Bush could have beat Arizona at quarterback, whatever, were part of the reason. 2, the schedule is harder. Just call it what it is. The schedule is significantly harder next season than it was in 2023. And 3, you think the Browns and what they did with DTR and Walker and Flacco specifically was fool's gold and unreplicable. And if Deshaun gets hurt again, you don't have that same faith in Jameis Winston or Tyler Huntley or DTR to be able to come in. And their backup quarterbacks last season won a combined 7-5. So that's why you would vote on the under. I don't agree with that. I'm just giving you the criteria.
The backup quarterbacks went 7-5 last year.
I'm taking the over. I'm telling you, it's a responsibly
even if they
responsible
do
bet.
that same thing, I'm still taking the over. 7-5, you're 2 games away from the over.
Well, the reason you go under is you don't think it's repeatable.
That's ridiculous. Let it move on. Y'all need to let that Deshaun thing go. It's
at the end of the day, G's right though. It comes back down to people just don't like Deshaun.
Let it go.
Some people, no matter what he does, they will never come around. G, is that a fair assessment of?
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Look,
That's not true. Because if he goes 17-0, win a Super Bowl,
there's that's just like
I think they'd be more lenient towards.
There's a faction of people. Here's how I knew it wasn't never coming back. Here's how I knew it. I was like, y'all petty as hell, bro. When they started showing him in the press box sitting there, and they saying, why ain't you down there with your team?
When the Browns told him to be up there.
I'm like, what is this, high school? See, this is what McNuggets. I don't want to say this.
You know why they said that?
Because a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. They never played football.
No, because in that same week that he sat in the press box, Joe Burrow was down on the field. And they're like, well, look, Joe's down there.
But that's the thing, bro.
that's why they said it. I'm telling you.
These dudes be sitting there like, they be like, that is not a thing. Like, I just be wondering, at no circumstances is that a thing when you have surgery. Nobody on that team is worried about you being on the sideline. Not one coach. Y'all guys got to, I'm telling you, the problem is they should make fans go to boot camps. Remember, you know how they got the State Farm commercial where they're like, you're turning into your parents?
Yeah. Yes.
And they're like, you don't need newspapers from 2002. You don't need them. No one needs to go to the locker room when they're injured and pump their team up. This is not Hoosiers. This is not Rudy. Stop it. We need to put y'all through classes.
Let's look at the rest of the AFC North according to that same sportsbook. And the Browns, as we mentioned, they're over-under projected at 8.5. The same with Pittsburgh, also at 8.5. The Bengals over-under on win total, 10.5. The Ravens, 11.5. Guys, let's start with the Ravens. We'll make this quick because I know we got to get to the other highest win totals in the NFL.
Under.
Ravens, 11.5.
Under.
Over-under.
Under.
I'm taking the under.
Yep, me too.
Bengals, 10.5. Over-under.
Under.
I think I'm going to take the over-under. I think they're going to go 11-6 this year.
I think they're going to win 10 games.
Under.
I'm going the over in that. We're all taking the over on the Browns.
Yep.
And the Steelers.
Over.
I agree too. Is there a chance? I don't know if this will work out. Is there a chance every team goes 10-7, 11-6 next year? Is that possible?
I doubt that's possible.
I mean, we did.
It almost happened
last year.
But the Ravens were above that threshold.
Yeah.
It's a gauntlet though, man.
It is.
It's a gauntlet. And when you look at, and if you pull up the highest win totals in the NFL, it's the very next graphic. 11.5, where Baltimore is tied with Kansas City and San Francisco for the highest projected win total in the entire NFL. A couple teams at 10.5, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Detroit, Dallas, Atlanta, which that one, I'm selling all the Atlanta stock if they're already at 11 wins to be their over-under.
That's crazy.
Philly,
That's because
Miami,
of the
Green
division
Bay. You have Houston and the Jets at 9.5 and the Browns at 8.5 with the Chargers, the Rams, the Bears, Jacksonville, the Colts, and Tampa Bay. So if you had any questions of why the Browns were where they were at 8.5, It's the Deshaun Watson factor, and that Vegas is daring you to bet against or bet on Deshaun Watson.
Crazy. Chicago is in the same breath as Cleveland.
I mean, I can't.
Man, that's wow.
With
With a guy that they ain't even got their quarterback on the
listen.
roster yet.
Hey,
they
listen.
8.5.
Hey,
Tells me everything I need to know.
hey, look, man. Just get ready. So I'm just let people know I'm gonna be really petty. I'm gonna be really like after every game. I might go find old tweets. Listen, I'm telling you.
Was that you?
Was that you? With the big eyeballs, the eyeball emojis. Was that you? Oh, so you bought a Diddy record? Is that you? Too soon?
Also, we have the lowest win totals real quick. Let's throw them up there for 1 second. But New England and Carolina at 4.5, Denver and Tennessee. For all the talk about the Deshaun Watson trade, the Russell Wilson trade in Denver has been even more of a colossal failure. At 5.5, while you're paying a quarterback $40 million to play elsewhere, it just hurts to see.
I'm happy, Denver. I'm sorry, Ant.
Oh, it's fine. I understand.
I'm glad all the smokers come. They beat us enough in the past. I don't have no Denver. I don't have no sympathy for anybody that's been to a Super Bowl. So all of y'all can kick rocks.
Who is that on that picture right there?
It's your boy.
Go Bucks.
Your boy, I put him on there just for you. I couldn't think of another Patriots player.
Minimosi Studebaker is his name.
Whoa. What's wrong with you?
This guy.
Don't do that. Hey,
I thought that was
man a part of this shirt, right? You see that? You see that right there?
Hey, man, I thought that was a nose tackle.
Man, a part of that. You know what I'm saying? That's
so,
greatness.
to wrap this up, the odds. So, if you want to take the over on the Browns or the under, it was even odds at minus 108. So, essentially, bet $1, win $1. At 8.5, on a confidence scale of 0 to 100, how confident are you that the Browns will surpass at minimum 9 wins or more? So to win the bet on the over.
They going to get 9 wins?
At least 9. How
I'm
confident are you?
Sure.
90%?
Hundun.
100.
Hundun.
A honey bun?
A hundun.
Woo.
A fish. A whole fish.
I'm 90% sure.
I'm going to go 82%. 82%. I do think at worst case, if it is the season from hell on all accounts, I still think this is a damn near 500
I mean, they was terrible 2 years ago, and they were 7-10.
And that's my point. So even if all hell breaks loose, I think this team is just too talented. It's too well coached, and they have too much invested and talent-wise outside of even the quarterback position for them not to be at minimum 9-18.